What can you do to prepare for an easy audit or accounting period? You need to plan the last couple of weeks before the year end. Plan for things like stock counts that will happen at the last day. You need to count your stock. You need to, even your assets, property, plant and equipment. You need to inspect that everything is there, compare it to the fixed asset register, even take photos of the condition so that the auditors can see what you did. And on that topic, you might want to even call the auditors and ask them if they want to be involved. Maybe they want to attend the stock count or the asset count. It's too late to talk to them 3 months after the year end, because then the stock or the assets have moved already. Ask them what else they need from you. Do they need any records for you to be printed or saved or exported? If we can turn to the tax side of things quickly, many companies make a second provisional tax payment at this stage. Make sure that you're organized to do that before year end, before the actual day of the year end. Also remember when you do that there may be some accounting adjustments that you want to take into account for tax purposes, but that are not necessarily in your management accounts. For example, things like depreciation that needs to be raised and some intercompany charges and things like that. Make sure that that gets raised so that you can use that for your provisional tax payment. On the final day of the year end, once you have counted the stock and the assets and you have made your last sale and you have taken your last delivery, what do you do then? I would say export everything, the accounting data, into a file that you can give to the auditors. Some auditors still want printouts. In that case, you know what they need printed out, but otherwise export your general ledger, your debtors ledger, your sales ledger, your cash book, everything else. Also make a backup of all your data that you have, your accounting system. Make a backup so that you can have something that reflects the position as at year end. Record your last invoice number. You've just made that last sale. What was the invoice number? What was the last delivery note number? If you still use checks, what was the last check that was issued? All the last numbers. If you keep a logbook for tax purposes, make sure that the final mileage is recorded. And that you all do after the last business has been done on the last day of the financial year. After the financial year end has passed and you start with your first day of the new financial year, before you start, record the first invoice number you're going to use, the first GRV number, everything else the first, so that the auditors will know what the cutoff was, and next year you know where you started. Also, the auditors would need things like bank confirmations. You know they always ask for it, and you know it always often delays the audit. Ask the auditors if there's anything that you can do now to plan for it. Do they need consent? Do they need you to sign something so that you can plan for it now already? And also remember, within a couple of days you're going to have to submit your final VAT return for the last year. So this is the last option that you're going to have to make any adjustments. If your income statement perhaps doesn't agree to your VAT return, you might need to make adjustments to that accounting period so it agrees, so that you can avoid queries later.